Hey guys, just here for this week's dev update. On session, I'm really happy to say that voice and video calls are out. So if you haven't received that update yet, make sure you go to the App Store or on GitHub, and you can download those releases, or F-Droid as well if you're subscribed to that. There's lots of ways that we distribute our packages now. Just make sure you've got the most up-to-date version, and you should have the little calls icon on all of your one-to-one conversations. And I encourage you to have a little call and see how it goes, and let us know if there's any issues that you have as well. So we've been working on that primarily, but we've also started work on we've been working on ID blinding as well for a little bit now, and that's making significant progress too, which is very good. And then there's also the performance stuff that we've been working on too. So performance is getting to a stage where on desktop, at least, we're seeing massive increases. On Android as well, I've heard from some of our internal test users that there's been a really significant increase as well. Basically, on desktop, we've been working on some database optimizations, removing messages that aren't necessarily being used anymore. And on Android, we're working on just kind of fixes to some of the pipelines where messages are flowing through. So hopefully that should be coming out shortishly, because I know a lot of people were, not liking some of the performance things that were happening on session, especially once your database grows bigger and bigger, it becomes more of a problem. So we're working on that right now. On the LokiNet side, we've actually made a really significant step, which is actually getting the packaging of the new LokiNet GUI and the kind of new LokiNet program, or like the LokiNet application, with the specific changes that we've been making over the last couple of months. So they work really well together right now, and I just tried a Windows build. It would have been a couple of weeks ago, and the turning exit nodes on and off is working really well, and the DNS issues seem to be fixed with that release too, which is really positive. On the core side, we're basically working towards the hard fork, which is coming up in the future. That means like a final review for batching and merging. Also some storage server side changes, basically to help us with storage server authentication when you're retrieving messages from session from the storage server. We're trying to get those all packaged up into a final hard fork release, which the core team is working on right now. So we will announce, of course, ahead of time when the hard fork is going to happen, so it won't be for a little bit, but we're just getting all of those blocks into place now. So yeah, that just about sorts out. This one's been a bit of a bigger one. We didn't do a dev update last week, so we're combining 2 weeks into one here. So hopefully there's a few little tidbits which he pulled out of that one. Thanks, guys.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another Oxen Lab update. I'm subbing in for Josh today, who is sick. You might be able to tell from my voice that I'm actually sick as well, as has a lot of the marketing team been over the last couple of weeks. Unfortunately, there's been some kind of plague that has absolutely run through us, which has slowed us down a little bit, but we've still been getting up to some mischief. So obviously the major thing that happened over the last couple of weeks was the calls release, making sure that all went out smoothly, including there was a video that I did with Wes, there was a blog that went out, a bunch of communications through the session app itself. Tom was working hard making sure the FAQs were up to date. Chris P has been working on all of the support stuff, making sure that all the people that are new to trying out calls are having a nice pain-free experience. So that's gone really well so far, which has been excellent. We also had Kee, who appeared on the podcast, the Opt-Out podcast with Seth for Privacy, which went really well. If you haven't checked that one out, make sure you go and give it a listen. It's an absolutely excellent chat. I listened to it myself, and it's just a really fascinating one. Cam and Josh have been continuing their work on the Oxen marketing plan, which is coming along nicely. I haven't checked in with them recently about it, but as far as I know, everything's going along well. And the other major thing really that's going on is Wes, the new face on the team. Wes has absolutely just hit the ground running over the last couple of weeks, while everyone else dropped down around him. He has managed not to get sick and has been doing an absolutely excellent job holding down the fort. So you might have seen some of the awesome content that he was pushing out, both on the Oxen blog and on the Session blog as well. He's also been helping out with content on socials and is even heading up a new project to try and increase Sessions activity on Instagram. So make sure you keep an eye out across all of our social channels because I think there's going to be a lot more coming out with the addition of Wes to the team. The other thing that's been going on is Tom has just been merging in some of those changes to the docs as well that have been filtering through. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the last couple of weeks. It's been a bit more quiet. We've had a lot of public holidays here in Australia. And as I said, a lot of the marketing teams have unfortunately been sick, which has lowered our capacity a little bit. But hopefully next Monday, it'll be our first full week in the last 2 weeks. Without a public holiday to interrupt us, and hopefully everyone will have rested up and be ready to go, and we'll absolutely smash some goals out. So until then, hopefully Josh will be back then. But otherwise, I'll see you next week. Ciao.